Lord Dregg Origins, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Terry, and this is Marvelous Videos. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have battled a lot of foes throughout their entire history, but to set the record straight, Lord Vringath Dregg has been a considerably more dangerous antagonist than the heroes had fought in prior seasons, making him the entire villain for the original show's Red Sky episodes, where the sky was consistently a dark red and the issue was darker. Lord Dregg first made an appearance in the second last season of the 1980s animated series in place of Shredder and Krang, the show's two main enemies. The series' main antagonist would remain the evil alien warlord up until its cancellation in 1996. Dregg came down to Earth as an essential part of his plan to conquer the galaxy, but he kept getting stopped by the Turtles. Lord Dregg was presented as the Emperor of planet Sectoid in the 2012 anime series. As the captain of the ship Dreadnought, which was manned by a bug-like species of beings known as the Techno Gang, he deceived the world into believing he was the savior and that the Turtles had been on a mission to take over the globe. This Dregg seemed more insect-like than the original version, with 4 limbs, the capability to fly, as well as the ability to shoot webs from his hands. So let's explore more about Lord Dregg and find out who this supervillain is in today's video. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Now, let's begin.
I am Dregg, Supreme Warlord of the 7 Galaxies.
The intriguing origins of Lord Dregg. The Unknown Ninja, the opening episode of the 9th season, featured Lord Dregg for the first time. The first time Dregg encountered the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they stopped him with the help of their new buddy, Carter. Hi-Tech, who is also Dregg's aide, assisted Dregg and his army, the Techno Gang, in breaking into the Federal Reserve Bank and stealing the gold to use as a weapon of mass destruction. While the Turtles are watching a film of them capturing the last of Megavolt's ninjas using Donatello's newest head-mounted turtle cam, they spot someone hiding in the shadows. Raphael claims to have observed that face on their previous 2 or 3 missions.
No, I'm serious. I've seen him on our last 2 or 3 missions.
The Turtles agree to take to the streets in search of this enigmatic observer, as they are interested as to why somebody would be watching them. In the meantime, an extraterrestrial warlord named Dregg, revealed in this episode as the Turtles' new archenemy and Krang and Shredder's replacement, dispatches his Techno Gang army to Earth from a ship in distant space. The second in command to Dregg, Hi-Tech, is in charge of this extraterrestrial gang. The ingredient required for Dregg's grand plan is apparently gold. The criminals intend to steal all the gold from the planet. Thus, the Techno-Gangster's spacecraft reaches the Earth's atmosphere, firing lasers at the Federal Reserve Building, while the Turtles are still roaming the streets.
Those perps are some species of alien.
The Turtles act quickly, but soon discover that they are in trouble. The tide suddenly turns as the enigmatic viewer rides up on his motorbike. Unfortunately, when the Techno-Gangsters flee, he finally proves to be more of a burden than an aid, but he's already escaped before they can find out who he is. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are faced with a new challenge when they return to their lair, as Donatello has no clue how the mutagen will affect them in the long run, because it's proven to be unstable.
Hey, be careful. It's becoming unstable, and the mutations it caused could be unstable too.
However, the intruder alarm rings before he can list any of the bizarre possibilities, and they dash into the sewers, only to find the enigmatic Watcher waiting there. Dregg accepts his previous setback and updates his grand plan once back on board the Dreadnought. He will use the Earthlings' own crude technology against them this time. The Intimidators, robotic police officers built to detect criminal intent, are being unveiled at the Cop Corps building where April O'Neil is present. However, once Dregg reprograms them, they turn homicidal. With clear orders not to handle anything in Donatello's lab, including the hazardous mutagen, April phones the Turtles when Carter is left behind. The Turtles then dash to the Cop Corps building across town. Carter is able to witness the Turtles in action firsthand and from their point of view, thanks to Michelangelo's transmission of the photos back to their lair while wearing Donatello's turtle cam. The Intimidators kick him in the butt, and then the frame goes black. Carter determines the Turtles want his assistance because he fears the worst. He unintentionally spills some of the hazardous mutagen on his hand as he dashes out of Donatello's lab. However, Carter's efforts at the Cop Corps building appear to be causing the Turtles more difficulty rather than helping them. And to make matters worse, Dregg has now made it to Earth on his enormous floating platform in his attempt to rule the Earth. Dregg, High-Tech and other techno-gangsters enter the conflict as the Intimidators and the Turtles engage in yet another fight. However, the techno-gangsters and High-Tech have trouble defeating the Turtles as they didn't anticipate their persistence. Dregg decides that he needs a captive in order to get the Turtles to follow orders, and Carter fits the bill well. So, Carter is imprisoned in a sealed metal chamber while Dregg makes it back to the Federal Reserve building to complete the theft of the gold. A mechanical claw also encircles Carter. The child, who is upset with himself for failing to assist the Turtles, suddenly transforms into a large, yellow, biomechanical, metal-skinned, mohawk ninja, resulting from the spill back at Donatello's lab. To aid them in taking down Dregg and his techno-gangsters, the Turtles have already demolished one Intimidator, while Donatello has modified the other. Dregg returns to his Dreadnought while claiming to be seeking vengeance after the Turtles beat him back at the Federal Reserve building by destroying his flying platform with the aid of Carter the Metal Mutant. The Turtles are relieved when Carter returns to the lair the following day, as they mistakenly thought he had died in the firefight. The only thing left is identifying the mystery mutant who saved them.
Dude, welcome to the Green Team!
The following episode, Dregg of the Earth, featured Dregg once more, this time manipulating the people of Earth. He introduced himself as their savior and displayed his goodness by cleaning the tainted water. The citizens of New York were mesmerized by his offer and granted him his own building, the Dregg Tower, a steel construction with the Dreadnought right on top of it. The Turtles decided to expose him, rejecting his invitations to join him, eventually bringing down Dregg Tower.
We've got to blow the whistle on that slime ball!
Dregg announces plans to construct a star shield, a protective structure he says would shield Earth from invading hostile aliens, after claiming to have discovered extraterrestrial activity on Earth. Donatello concludes that it'll probably be utilized to conquer the Earth. Raphael is upset about how the humans treat them, but Splinter tells the Turtles how they must stand up for their beliefs, especially when everyone is against them. Alongside April and her minicam, they move towards the Starshield's manufacturing location when they discover it's almost finished.
Guys, I hate to make dire predictions, but that thing looks ready to launch.
Dregg's true objectives are successfully captured on film by April, but High-Tech discovers them before any more proof can be acquired. The military police pursue the Turtles, who flee into the sewers. Even though the recording of Dregg is definitely authentic, April discovers that anti-turtle prejudice is so intense that no news organization will air it. The Turtles head for a radio tower where they can broadcast from, after deciding that they have to do it somehow. The Techno Gang surrounds Carter at the exact moment, but he demutates right amid the struggle and is taken prisoner. When he returns, he destroys April's videotape and seems to be working with the Techno Gang. Two weird characters dressed in futuristic attire then emerge and try to shoot him down. Their study reveals that Carter was clearly a Dregg spy, according to Merrick and Landor, who identify themselves as being from 20 years in the future. Carter's sudden appearance and relentless firing at them provide evidence for this. After 20 years, Dregg has triumphed and now dominates the planet. The Techno Gang is terrorizing the last humans, and everything is in ruins. They are teleported to a future New York by Merrick and Landor. The Techno Gang catches the two time travelers, while Landor and Merrick demonstrate Dregg's shipyard to the Turtles, prompting them to sneak into Command Central. The top executioner of Dregg's army and his scientific brilliance is none other than Carter, much to the consternation of the Turtles. Carter attempts to destroy them, driving them into retreat.
An air shaft!
A resentful Raphael claims that, aside from April, not a single person in their era is on their side, and that humanity brought it on themselves. Merrick says that in the old days, Carter slaughtered the Turtles and Dregg quickly gained control of the planet. The Turtles must now be sent away to their period via the time machine if that horrible future is to be avoided. Donatello also surmises that Carter, who attempted to kill them, wasn't the genuine Carter because of his strength and the lack of any indication that he had a mutant form.
Then he's definitely not Carter.
Carter launches another attack, but the Turtles are able to smash him, showing that he's a highly developed robot. Merrick and Landor retrieve the time machine and are ready to send the Turtles back to their time as the Techno Gang closes in on them. Leonardo is hesitant to abandon their new friends in danger, but Merrick argues that they'll both be spared if Dregg is vanquished in their history. Merrick and Landor grasp hands as they approach death, and the Turtles disappear. The real Carter, who has just fled from the Dreadnought, is there as the Turtles reappear in the hangar. The Turtles and the real Carter are about to be killed when the android Carter emerges. Just when the Starshield is about to ascend into the air, Carter effectively eliminates his doppelganger. When April summons the turtles to a playground, they can see two little kids play in a sandbox. April then tells them that she has located Landor and Merrick. They consider that even if everyone is against them, they must continue their war against Dregg in order to protect individuals like those two young children. Following that, Lord Dregg starts a propaganda drive in the city to convince people that the turtles are evil and that they want to stop Dregg from saving the Earth. As a result, the turtles get a bad reputation and are regularly pursued by law enforcement or other authorities. The 9th season's propaganda push ended in Doom Quest, when an extraterrestrial conqueror forcibly removes Dregg from Earth. His departure raised concerns regarding the hero, Lord Dregg. All these fresh concerns were confirmed when April finally convinced the people of the city of Dregg's actual motivations via a covert recording. The Techno Gang searches the city for the turtles while Dregg publicly denounces them as aberrant terrorists to a gathering of onlookers. Raphael and Leonardo abruptly change once again for no apparent reason as the turtles watch nervously and lumber into the throng to face their foes. The frightened people run away from the terrifying Techno Gang and the reptiles follow them to force them to withdraw. Donatello claims that the dangerous mutagen, which is making them less logical and more violent every time they transform, is to blame for this. They might have to make a lot of sacrifices to stop Dregg, Splinter forebodingly warns. Dregg acquires the Vortex Crystal on the Dreadnought, which he may use to distort space and time and call upon his dispersed fleet.
But the Vortex Crystal has the power to warp space itself.
He needs a lot of authority for this, but he's certain that he can convince others to provide him with what he wants. As the first step in his strategy, he gives the gems to Earth's inhabitants, assuming that it'll provide an endless supply of pure energy to force them to connect it to a power plant. A massive spacecraft arrives out of nowhere. A huge extraterrestrial claims the Vortex Crystal by the name of Doomquest, who then imprisons Dregg's ship in its hangar. Michelangelo, who flees in the turtle van together with Leonardo, April and Carter, is the one holding the crystal. While pursuing them, Doomquest's Lieutenant Draconis flips the turtle van on its side and claims that Doomquest is genuinely a kind-hearted leader who will use the crystal for good. He takes the crystal during the struggle and escapes. Dregg and Hi-Tech seek to get beyond the Dreadnought's restraints while all this is happening. Dregg is spewing venom, more determined than ever, and even rips at Hi-Tech when he says that the constraints can't be overcome. Just before the turtle van runs out of fuel, they arrive aboard Doomquest's ship and manage to locate the crystal quite easily. Michelangelo had stayed normal up until this moment. Unfortunately, they also discover Doomquest awaiting them, and right away all four of them transform once more. The four super mutant turtles are no match for Doomquest, who makes the most of the fact that they're fighting each other more than him. Just before Doomquest is about to unleash his full rage and blow them all to pieces, Carter gets to seize the crystal and uses it to transform everybody back to normal. Unfortunately, the Dreadnought just so happens to show up at that time, and Doomquest and Dregg agree that they only want the crystal. While Donatello struggles to prevent the Dark Realm from invading their own reality, the turtles are confined and unable to escape. Leonardo throws the crystal out against the side of Doomquest's ship, breaking it and driving Doomquest and all of his creatures back into the Dark Realm, recalling Splinter's previous remarks. After Dregg lurches, they'll too be drawn into the Dark Realm and shuts off Hi-Tech even before he can assure Dregg the crisis has passed. Dregg and his minions depart the planet. As they leave, Donatello notices crystal fragments on Carter's microsword that they might just be able to use to keep their mutations stable. April is eventually able to telecast the recording of Dregg's heinous speech, terrifying all the people who had been following them without question and thereby ending Dregg's ruse. Meanwhile, on a distant world, while Hi-Tech and Lord Dregg monitor the detectors for the Vortex Crystal, Batmen are fixing the Dreadnought. Dregg claims that although the turtles have just a few shards of the crystal because of low measurements, they have learned that the crystal can stabilize their mutations. Dregg can genetically construct another crystal and finish his vortex transporter with just a little fragment of it. Mung, his additional helper, says that the Dreadnought is ready to go. Even if they travel to Earth, Hi-Tech informs Dregg that it'll take several months to create the transporter. Still, Mung shows him a container full of over 1 million computerized microbots that can make anything Dregg wants in a matter of hours. After that, Dregg makes Mung an offer to serve as his deputy, which infuriates Hi-Tech. Dregg disregards the situation and sends a screaming Hi-Tech away on a probing trip. While he still intended to conquer Earth, Dregg thought it necessary to eliminate the Turtles first. He called Shredder and Krang from Dimension X to do this. Dregg advises that as they all hate the Turtles, they should band together to defeat their common foe. On the other hand, Krang and Shredder showed little interest in assisting Dregg and quickly started scheming against him. The Turtles stopped Dregg and sent Shredder and Krang back to Dimension X with the aid of several time-displaced incarnations of themselves. Dregg and Mung, his new helper, had to go. In the Season 10 finale, Divide and Conquer, Dregg's preoccupation with preventing the Turtles deteriorated to the point of insanity. He tried to exterminate the Turtles in whatever way he could, using April as bait to draw them away. He created a new machine called the Morphogenesis Exoskeleton and made use of 5 strong aliens absorbed into the suit, giving him their abilities. All of them had defeated the Turtles for a predetermined amount of time. Donatello and Michelangelo headed off towards the abandoned, destroyed Technodrome all the way in Dimension X to get Krang's android body, while Leonardo and Raphael attempted to save their comrade. Following their return to Earth, all of the Turtles captured Dregg with a unique martial arts maneuver while controlling the robot body. They were instructed by Master Splinter earlier in this episode to push Dregg and the android body through the vortex into Dimension X. Dregg perished when the android body self-destructed due to the pressure on its atoms. Splinter informs the Turtles that they are now complete masters and no longer require a guide once Dregg is vanquished. The Turtles accidentally bump into Dregg while trying to avoid enraged sales aliens on the planet Varanon, where he was standing in line at a negotiating spaceport. When Leonardo offered to help Dregg, he became enraged and even pushed him aside. Then Dregg inquired as to their familiarity with him. He identified himself and threatened to murder them all when they resisted. Casey Jones was attacked and almost devoured by Dregg after he had made fun of him. To save Casey, the Turtles beat him down, but in the process, they also break Dregg's valuable star spice jar, making him even angrier. April and the Turtles successfully repel the onslaught that 2 of his robug Vreen were ordered to carry out. Then, an enraged Dregg tries to fight the Turtles on his own. Even the 7 of them are unable to defeat him, so they decide to withdraw into space, utilizing Ulysses to elude him. Dregg pursues them in his spacecraft, the Hornetron. As it prepares to enter a tachyonic warp, the Hornetron lays eggs by launching more robug Vreen towards the target ship, one of whom was able to enter and attack everyone. But they managed to beat it and help Dregg flee via the ship's tachyonic warp. Dregg made a promise to find and destroy the Turtles after that. The new Lord Dregg, who was voiced by the legendary Peter Stormare, debuted in the first episode of Season 4 in 2012, with nice character designs, a cool voice, and an entertaining opening battle. Having said that, fans like us would rather have an entire episode devoted to Dregg than him simply appearing near the premiere's conclusion. In any case, this wonderfully sets up the plot of the following episode, which saw Fugitoid unintentionally bringing everyone to a sizable Triceraton fleet. In the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series, Lord Dregg exudes conceit. He is easily enraged by even the most minor occurrence, whether getting bumped into or having his most recent purchase accidentally damaged, as he constantly believes that he is better than other races. He also brags about being the Sectoid 1 ruler, and when angered he makes a very formidable foe to anyone who gets in his way. In retaliation to the Turtles humiliating him, forcing him to lose his pricey star spice and wrecking his Vreen, Lord Dregg pursued them relentlessly throughout space. He was exceedingly nasty in this pursuit. In order to get the Turtles to come to him, Dregg secretly threatened to raid Sal Commander and Mona Lisa's homeworld, but when his plot succeeded, he broke his promise. This shows that Dregg is dishonest and treacherous. He calls his Vreen drones his children, and his hive mind gives him power over them. He gets very emotional if they are slain in battle in front of him. Lord Dregg, as the antagonist in the 4th season space arc, is a much more enjoyable character who is funny, frivolous, and one of the staunchest villains against the Turtles. His character starts diminishing in the episode The Evil of Dregg. He leveraged the fact that one of the Turtles had love affections for someone in that episode, something no previous Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2012 antagonist had ever done. In the episode, Armagon infiltrated Fugitoid's ship, searched through the Turtles' private communications and files, and ultimately learned that Raph was writing love letters to a woman from Salamandria known as Mona Lisa. He then informed Dregg of this. Dregg used Raph's vulnerability after learning about it. Because of his treachery, he emotionally depleted Raph to the point that he was unable to fight. The moment when Raph was being beaten to the ground by Armagon and he did nothing except watch was heartbreaking. Raph accepted the thrashing because he was so heartbroken. Raph is the team's most vital member, but he's also its most vulnerable. Thus, Dregg realized if Raph lost consciousness, the others would follow. Dregg deserves a lot of respect for his character to go at length to demolish the Turtles, but the 2012 series butchered such a crucial villain who was portrayed exceptionally well in the 1987 series.
Oh, sorry, sir. Let me help you.
Do not touch me!
Marvelous trivia about Lord Dregg. The name Dregg is a pun on the term Dreg. This word is used to describe violent people as well as sediment, filth, dirty materials and the least desirable aspects of objects. The late Tony Jay, who also provided Megavolt's voice, voiced Dregg. In addition to being a well-known voice actor for kids television, Jay was a skilled Shakespearean performer on both stage and film. He is regarded as an independent legend. Dregg, like other Red Sky series characters, never had merchandise made in his honor. Lord Dregg's other appearances. Lord Vringath Dregg appears in 2 of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video games. He appears in Mutant Madness and Battle Match, where he plays the final boss.
You cannot escape Lord Dregg!
The alien warlord of all time. Lord Dregg is revealed to be one of the Turtles' most dangerous enemies ever, if not the most dangerous. Dregg would have annihilated them on several occasions, even during their initial bouts, if Carter hadn't stepped in. In actuality, Carter handles a sizable portion of Dregg's combat, frequently working with the Turtles. By diminishing their energies, Dregg could catch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at the conclusion of the series, defeat them, and keep an eye on Krang and Shredder, their previous enemies. Dregg is brilliant. He makes master plans quickly, is clever, and resolute. He has extensive knowledge in the areas of mutations and genetics. Dregg is a brilliant tactician as well, occasionally outwitting the Turtles. He has command over a vast number of microbots, or tiny robots that can construct anything Dregg desires. He was able to overcome Donatello in a War of the Minds in the episode Mobsters from Dimension X, demonstrating that he has a sharper focus than the extremely intelligent mutant. Dregg has stolen power from other strong creatures by using his cunning abilities. He has the ability to fire lasers from his hands, eyes, and laser sword. He is a reasonably talented and strong fighter, although ultimately he favors cunning and tactics above actual fighting. Dregg becomes the most potent and intellectual entity in the universe at the time in a 3-part episode where he acquires the mental and physical prowess of the Turtles and Krang along with the Turtles' super mutations. He used his microbots to create a morphogenic exoskeleton suit in the episode Divide and Conquer that has the power to siphon and absorb life force from other entities into its user. Dregg transformed himself into a super being by using this outfit to take the power of 5 extraordinarily powerful aliens and multiply their total strength 100 times. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
All the galaxies. Now I possess